William had been cleaning the Galactic Council's corridors for 3 years, without saying more than 10 words to anyone. His mop moved in steady, practiced arcs across the crystalline floors, and his cart squeaked softly as he pushed it from chamber to chamber. The aliens barely noticed him. A human janitor was background noise in a building filled with the galaxy's most powerful beings. He preferred it that way. The council station orbited a neutral moon, a massive structure where hundreds of species gathered to debate, argue, and occasionally prevent wars. William had seen them all. The towering Krindaks with their 4 arms, the floating Netharii who communicated through color changes, the insectoid Vraks who clicked and chittered in their own language. They all looked past him, through him, as if he were part of the furniture. But William watched them. He listened. In the early morning cycles, when most delegates slept in their quarters, William cleaned the grand chamber. The vaulted ceiling stretched 50 meters high, decorated with holographic representations of 1,000 worlds. His footsteps echoed in the emptiness as he worked, methodical and invisible. That's when he first saw Daisy. She stood in the observation gallery, her blonde hair tied back in a practical ponytail, her maintenance uniform identical to his own. Another human, transferred from a colony station 3 months ago. She nodded at him once, a brief acknowledgement of shared humanity in an alien place, then returned to repairing a malfunctioning gravity panel. They worked in parallel silence for weeks. A nod here, a brief morning there, nothing more. Until the day King Zorax entered the grand chamber alone. The Vryn monarch was impossible to miss, 3 meters tall, his exoskeleton gleaming like polished obsidian. His 6 eyes arranged in a crown-like pattern across his broad skull. His species had ruled 17 systems for millennia, and his word could move fleets or topple governments. William continued mopping, expecting the king to ignore him, as always. Human. Zorax's voice rumbled, translated through the universal implant in William's ear. You clean here every day? William froze mid-stroke. In 3 years, no one had asked him a direct question. He straightened slowly, meeting 2 of the alien's 6 eyes. Yes, Your Majesty. You observe the proceedings? A dangerous question. William chose his words carefully. I'm here when they happen, sir. The Zorax's mandibles clicked amusement, William had learned. Diplomatic. Good. The king moved closer, his footsteps heavy on the crystal floor. Then you witnessed yesterday's debate. The Netharii proposal to blockade the outer reaches. It wasn't a question. But William nodded. What did you think? William's grip tightened on the mop handle. This was a test, or a trap, or perhaps both. But something in the king's posture, the slight slump of his shoulders, the way his antennae drooped, spoke of genuine exhaustion. Permission to speak freely, Your Majesty? Granted. I think the Netharii are afraid, William said quietly. They're the oldest species in the council, and they've seen empires rise and fall. The human expansion into the outer reaches reminds them that nothing lasts forever. The blockade isn't about security. It's about control. Zorax was silent for a long moment. I have time, Your Majesty, and I listen. What is your name? William, sir. William. The king tested the name. I have ruled for 40 cycles. I have advisors for military strategy, economic policy, diplomatic relations, but I have no one who simply observes. He turned his massive head, all 6 eyes focusing on William. My people face a crisis. Our home world's core is destabilizing. We have perhaps 5 years before it becomes uninhabitable. The council debates endlessly about relocation rights, about which systems can absorb millions of refugees. They argue about quotas and resources and political advantage. William set down his mop. But they're not solving the problem. No. Behind them, a soft sound footsteps on the gallery stairs. Daisy appeared, carrying a toolkit. She paused when she saw the king, but William gestured her over. Your Majesty, this is Daisy. She maintains the station's life support systems. Daisy's eyes widened, but she stepped forward, offering a respectful bow. Your Majesty. Jorok studied her. We're good at noticing things others miss, Daisy said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. When you're invisible, you see the truth. End quote. No. End quote. End quote. End quote. And what truth do you see, Daisy, who maintains life support? She glanced at William, who nodded encouragement. I see that the council members sleep in different atmospheric conditions, breathe different gases, eat different foods, require different temperatures. She took a breath. But this station keeps us all alive under one roof. Because the systems adapt. They flex. They don't try to make everyone the same, they accommodate everyone's differences. Zorax's antennae straightened. Continue. Your people don't need a single planet, Your Majesty, William said, understanding Daisy's point. Humans were nomads once. Before we built cities, we scattered, adapted, learned to thrive in different environments. Maybe the Vryn don't need to replicate your home world. Maybe you need to become something new. 2. Spread across multiple systems, Daisy added. Smaller populations, integrated into existing colonies, not as refugees seeking charity, but as partners bringing your knowledge, your technology, your culture. Instead of trying to save one world, you save your people by making them part of many worlds. The king was silent for so long that William wondered if they'd overstepped. Then, Jorax's mandibles clicked. Rapidly. Laughter. William realized with shock. I convene councils of generals and scholars, the king said, and 2 human janitors solve in minutes what they cannot solve in months. He reached into a pouch on his ceremonial belt and withdrew 2 small medallions, each bearing the seal of the Vryn royal house. You will attend tomorrow's session, not as janitors, but as my personal advisors. William and Daisy exchanged glances. Your Majesty, we're not diplomats, William protested. No. You are better. You are observers who understand that solutions come not from dominance, but from adaptation. Jorax placed a medallion in each of their hands. The galaxy changes. Empires that cannot change with it will perish. My people will adapt, as you suggest. And I will need advisors who understand the value of silence and when to break it. As the king left the grand chamber, his footsteps echoing into the distance, William looked down at the medallion in his palm. Then, at Daisy. She smiled, small but genuine. I guess we're not invisible anymore. William picked up his mop, a wry grin crossing his face. Someone still has to clean these floors. True. Daisy laughed. But maybe now they'll actually see us doing it, in the galaxy of grand gestures and powerful declarations. Sometimes the smallest voices carried the greatest wisdom, and sometimes those who cleaned in silence knew more about the universe than those who shouted from thrones. Humanity had always been good at adapting. Now, perhaps, they could teach others to do the same. The end.